Okay, now that you've got a few songs under your belt, let's talk about some chord structure and how you can use that information to make your bass playing more flavorful, add some fills and stuff like that. Okay? Now, the way that a chord is mostly built, you'll notice that on some of your chord charts there's going to be like an A minor 7 or a something 13 or a 2 or a whatever. That's giving the piano player, sometimes a bass player, never the drummer, helpful information on how everything is supposed to be played in order to make it sound exactly like the recording. Now, when in doubt, just play the root note and you're going to be fine. If there is a slash in any chord, you're supposed to actually play the one that's behind the slash, okay? So if it says G over B, you're actually supposed to play a B, not a G, okay? And this is why. When you have a chord, normally, the most basic form of a chord is 3 notes, okay? And that's going to be the root of the chord, the home base of the chord, okay? So in this case, G, right? And then you're going to have another note, which is a B. And then you're going to have a 5th. Okay, now you'll notice on our scale, G, A, B, C, D, all right, that's 1, 3, and 5. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. So play that a little bit. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Okay. Now, if you, let's go back to Build My Life, for example. You could play 1, 3, 5 on every single chord, okay? Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise. 1, 3, 5. Except my pinky didn't get up there, right? So you can play 1, 3, 5. All of those notes will work, okay? Because you're just picking out particular notes out of that chord, okay? So in a G, 1, 3, 5, and then you guessed it, the shape is exactly the same. Start on a C, and you're going to play C, and then on the D string, you're going to play an E, and then G. Or you could also play, okay? Because of the octave, right? You can play it on the 3rd fret of the E string. Okay, 1, 3, 5. Okay, so in G, you've got a G chord, which is 1, 3, 5, or G, B, E, and then you've got a C chord, which is C, E, G, 1, 3, 5. Start in a D now, slide this up to 2 frets, the 5th fret, D, F sharp, A, 1, 3, 5. Now remember earlier that I said that E was a minor chord, right? That means that 1, 3, 5 in the traditional sense doesn't actually work. That note is wrong, okay? And that is because the 3rd note of the scale is what determines if a note is major or minor. So instead of playing 1, 3, 5, all happy, the E minor turns into 1, and then you shift the 3 down a half step. 3, 5. It's like darker, more mysterious, right? So that's that minor chord, okay? So, minor, you're going to shift down 1 half step on the 3. 1, 3, 5. Major, start on the D. 3, 5. Okay? And that's how you can break apart those chord patterns. Now, how does this help you? Because if I'm playing the beginning of Build My Life, and I'm playing 1, 2, worthy of every song we could ever sing, and it gets to verse 2, and I've just been playing whole notes, and I want to add in something else, well, I can use the 1-3-5 information in order to help me play something a little bit more interesting. We live for you, 2, 3, 3, Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Okay, so how did I do that, right? Well, I'm just going 1, and then the next chord is a 4 chord, so I can add that third note of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, as a transition, and it walks the bass line up, makes it a little bit more interesting. Do you want to do this all the time? No. You want to do it when you want this music to be a little bit more interesting, and especially if other people are doing it, or if it's written into the music, and especially you want to do it there. How about this one? How did I do that one? Well, I'm just playing the different notes that are in the key of G. C, D, E, D, C, G. Just went up the scale and back down. And how did I do that? This is called a hammer-on. Play one note and then slap the other finger down. Hammer-on. Pull off as if you start with it on and then you pull it off. Can you even kind of pluck the string a little bit to make that happen? And then you can slide. Okay, sliding is also a good way to do that. Now those are a little bit advanced, all right, but it's good to know that you have those available to you in your toolbox, right? Now that you've done a few normal songs, we're going to add in some of the ones that have kind of fancier chord progressions and those slash chords as well. And oh yeah, the thing about those slash chords is that instead of playing the root note, they want you to play another note. And that's called an inversion, because when you're playing piano and you play like a B as the lowest note of the chord, when the rest of your hands is playing a G, it's like it inverts, it flips the chord on its head or on its side a little bit. Or if you're playing an E or a D instead of playing a G, that's called a second inversion. So first inversion is playing the third of the note, okay, and second inversion is playing the fifth of the chord, okay, and that's in the scale 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you're playing that when the chord is a G, all right, then that's first inversion. If you're playing a D when the chord name is a G, then that's the second inversion. You'll hear musicians talk about that a little bit. It can add a lot of flavor to a song, and I really love first inversions on chords that are the key of the song. They sound really great, and they can trick your ear sometimes to making it seem like it's minor when it's really not. It's just inverted. And so it's a really good way to add a lot of interest and flavor to your songs. So try it out on these next few songs and you're going to rock it.